Hello, good day to you. It's me, Andy, and this is Andy Wright Travel and a travel tips vlog. This is how to avoid getting sick on a plane. Very simple, obvious tips I'm going to give you, which are very simple, and you're probably doing them anyway, but hey, let's have a look. So tip number 1, stay hydrated to boost your immune system.
One of the most important tips on how to avoid getting sick on a plane is to remain hydrated. You have to work at it. Most planes fly at 30 to 35,000 feet elevation, where the humidity is very low. Unfortunately, the humidity inside the cabin of a plane is usually lower than 15%. This is very drying to nasal passages in the throat, and allows the bacteria and viruses easier access to your lungs. To combat this, you must remain hydrated. Drinking water keeps your mucous membranes remain moist and better equipped to fight germs. Drink a bottle of water before you get on the plane. If plastic bottled water isn't your thing, carry your empty non-disposable water bottle through security. And then fill it as soon as you are through. And continue to hydrate frequently for the duration of your flight. Some of the newer budget airlines do not provide soft drinks, coffee, tea, or even water to their passengers. So it is even more important than ever to bring your own water on board. And using your own non-disposable water bottle is not only economic, but kinder to the earth. Remaining hydrated is an important step on how to avoid getting sick on a plane.
Tip number 2, travel with nose protection.
Airborne germs are one of the 2 top sources of bacteria and virus infections. Consider bringing a nasal saline solution or nasal mist with you when you fly. This keeps your nasal passages moist, which can boost your body's germ flushing action. But be sure to follow the manufacturer's directions for use. Or, you can apply a small amount of Neosporin antibiotic ointment just inside your nostrils, using a Q-tip cotton swab or freshly washed hands. Steam from hot drinks served on board like coffee, tea or hot chocolate is another way to keep your mucous membranes moist.
Tip number 3, be aware of your fellow passengers.
On board your plane, a person with a cold or the flu who is sneezing or coughing can infect others. You are generally only in danger of catching their flu or cold if you sit within 2 rows or 2 seat lengths from the sick person. If you think a fellow passenger is a germ dispenser, ask to move your seat. You can be truthful about your situation or reason for the request. Or you can volunteer to sit in an exit row, or closer to the bathroom. Or even switch places with someone who wants to sit with their family. If moving isn't an option, consider some alternatives to protect yourself and avoid getting sick on a plane. If the offending person is seated behind you, don't put your seat back, which would bring you closer to them. If they are sitting in front of you, do tip your seat back to be a bit further away. Check the airline you will be flying for their COVID protocols. All airlines have similar yet sometimes different requirements.
Tip number 4, disinfect around you. Remember, this is quite important.
This is one case in which being a paranoid germaphobe is just common sense. Germs are all around you when you are trapped in a tiny airplane cabin, on shared surfaces such as armrests, tray tables, seat belt buckles, seatback pockets, and bathroom door handles. Just think, the person sitting in your seat before you may have put his/her used contaminated tissues or discarded napkin in your seat back pocket. Germs can survive for hours or days after the passenger who brought them all on board has departed. Some of the 200 or so viruses that cause the common cold can infect people up to 18 hours after they have left the host. And flu viruses can infect people for up to 8 hours after they have left their host. MRSA and E. coli can live on the plane for over a week. There is simply no substitute for hand washing as the first line of defense against all types of illnesses and how to avoid getting sick on a plane. Wash your hands before and after you board your plane. Use a paper towel to turn off the faucet in the plane's lavatory. This way you won't pick up more germs before you leave the bathroom. Under your nails is where 70% of germs hide, so don't forget to clean them. Carry alcohol-based hand sanitizer when you cannot wash your hands. Also, avoid touching your eyes, mouth or nose with your hands any more than you have to. Also, pack disinfectant wipes like the Lysol, on-the-go sized wipes. Wipe down your tray table, armrests, seat belt buckles, remote control devices, television touch screens, and overhead air vent controls to help you avoid getting sick on a plane. Don't store personal items such as your water bottle, reading materials, or tissues in your seat back pocket. Keep them stashed in your carry-on bag. For bathroom door handles and other public surfaces, use a paper towel or tissue as a barrier between your hand and the object. And always wash your hands before touching your eyes, nose or mouth.
Tip number 5. Do not turn off the overhead vent.
Lack of circulating air is one of the main reasons airplanes are breeding grounds for germs. Do not close your overhead air vent that is blasting that frigid air. Your plane's actively recirculated air is filtered. Planes with good ventilation systems have lower cold and flu transmission than those that don't. Also, the blowing air just might help push away germs that may float into your personal space. Maybe from a nearby passenger, and could be the reason you avoid getting sick on a plane.
Tip number 6 is no good for me. Do not sit in an aisle seat.
Avoid all seats. Sitting in an aisle seat may have you more at risk of being exposed to germs. You are closer to passengers who patrol the aisles for exercise or those coming and going to the restroom. People often tend to touch or hold all seats when walking up and down the aisles, contaminating them.
Tip number 7. Do not use blankets or pillows unless they come pre-wrapped.
Do not use airline blankets and pillows, unless they are individually packaged, is another great tip on how to avoid getting sick on a plane. Investigations have shown that airlines wash blankets and pillows every 3 to 5 days. Often freshly washed blankets will only be set out for the first flights of the day. Customers who board toward the end of the day risk receiving blankets or pillows that have been used several times during the day. I like a blanket when I fly, so bring my own for flights longer than a few hours.
And there we go, that's the tips for today. Hope you enjoyed that. Very simple tips, and of course stuff that you're probably already doing. Okay, so have a good day, and I'll catch you next video. Bye for now.